And welcome back. We're getting ready to start on level 10. This is where we're going to create our star. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Remember, it's telling us that we're going to create a variable down in our variables, so underneath our platform, and it's giving us our X position and our Y position for that, and they're going to be random numbers. So this -50 to 350 will mean that it can show up anywhere on the screen between 50 and 350. And then this -30 and -60 for our Y is going to put it up above the screen. So here we go. Do this, and I'm just going to minimize that. We're going to go ahead and do that. So a variable, we're just going to call this star. And remember, it told us random numbers. So at the very bottom, you see the random numbers. I'm going to put that in for my X. I'm going to put that in for my Y. The X, it said, was 50 to 350. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And our Y, it said, let's look at that again. I think -30, -60, but let's check. Yep, -30, -60. -30, oops, why is it not typing? -30, -60. There we go. We need to create our animation. So we're going to go up here. Star. It's going to look like a star. And we are going to give it a speed. And I think it just says make it faster than the platforms. But I'm going to make it more interesting. So I'm going to go and give it a velocity Y. It's a star. And we are going to give it a random number. So I went into math, going down to random numbers. And I'm going to make it 4 to 7 because my platform is traveling at 3. So run. Here comes our star, flying down the screen, but it doesn't come back. Okay, so let's see if they want us to do that. Set animation at the top screen. Nope. So moving on to 11. All right, so this is looping item. So we need to create a new function at the bottom, and we're going to use another if statement to check if it is at the bottom. And then it says send the item back to a random X and a random Y. All right, we can do that. And loop items. So here we go. Creating loop items. Minimize that. Scroll to the very bottom. I'm going to create a function called loop items. Loop items. There we go. Now inside there, it said we're checking to see if it's at the bottom. So I need that greater than. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I haven't created an if statement yet. There's my if statement. Now I can check if my sprite.y, so that's star, is greater than, and I'm going to make it go a little bit below. We're going to do 410. It could have been 420 like our platform, but it doesn't really matter. And it says if it is, we want it to go back up to the top to a random position, okay? And unlike our platform, we want it to go to a random X position also, so it can move across the screen. So here we go. I'm going to start with my sprite.x, star, and that random number, okay? And our random number was 50 to 350, so that it can cover most of the screen. And then I need a sprite.y and star, and I want it to be random as well. And it was -30, -60. Now, it's not going to work yet because I need to call this up above. So let's go ahead. I just copied that. Right under loop platforms, I'm going to grab out my function and I'm going to paste that in there. Now I hit run and my star should loop. And it does. Now here's the thing. I want to go back and change one thing real quick. Right now, my star, I had a random velocity on it, but it doesn't change the velocity. It just uses that initial one. So I'm going to do star. I'm going to grab a random number, and I'm going to put that same 4 to 7. And now my star, each time it loops, will change its velocity. So notice it's slower this time. Still slow. It should come back quicker in another one. There we go. Falling faster and then slower again. So that velocity changes each time. So now we're done with 11. Let's move on to 12. All right, make your second item. So same thing we're doing. It's saying copy it, do the same thing. So here we go, just like we did with our platform. So I'm going to just draw a square around it and hit Control C. Click down below. Remember, it's got to get that black flashing. Control V. Now, star 2, star 2, and star 2. Now, the nice thing about this is we don't have to change anything because this is already on a random number. So they may appear together, they may appear apart, but we hit start, they're apart. Now they were closer together. Okay, so they're randomly being placed on there. Now, it's not coming back yet. So let's go down to the bottom where we have our loop item. I'm going to copy, oops, too much. I'm going to copy that. So notice I drug my square along it, Control C, black line, Control V, and star 2, star 2, star 2, star 2. And the nice thing is, again, all random. So we just hit reset run. They're falling close together, but different speeds. Now the other one come back. So there they go. And they can appear anywhere between 50 and 350. Okay? So that is the end of 12. So going on to 13. All right, so now we're to the point of creating our player. Oops, I meant to scroll down. So here it says, got to create it, give an animation, create a player fall function. So let's create our animation first, okay? So here we go. I'm going to go in at the bottom. There's our star. So we're still out of the draw loop. I'm going to create player. And I think 200, 200 is a good place for him right now. And we're going to give him an animation. At this time, he is just an alien. So reset run. There he is. Now let's see what else they want us to do. Okay, use set animation to give it the correct image. We did that. Create a player fall function that makes the sprite fall from the top of the screen. So the code inside the function should use a velocity y in a counter pattern, just as we did in lesson 21, and then we need to call it. So let's go here, let's go reset so that it doesn't mess up. At the bottom, I'm going to create a function, and they told us to call it what? Player fall. Player fall. Oops, didn't type. So we have player fall. Now, it told us counter pattern with a velocity y. Okay. Velocity y. All right, let's do that. So we're going to go to sprite, velocity y, it's player. We need math. We're going down, so that's adding. And we need another velocity y. And add a 1 in there. So reset run. Okay, so he's not falling yet because we haven't called it. So I'm going to copy this. Functions, go up to the top, inside our draw loop. And I'm going to pull out my function. There we go. Reset run. Boom, he falls. Now, I can't make him go up yet. He's just falling. So we're on to 14. Okay, user control. Let's do this. Create a new control player function in the function area. So that's going to be at the bottom. And inside it says if key down and sprite.x blocks to move the player left and right accordingly. And then we need a key of velocity y. So let's start up here, control player, and we're going to do left and right first. So boom, at the bottom, functions, my function, player, control. Okay, notice I got a capital C. If statement, world. We want key down, right? Key down. And we said we're going to do right and left. So right. We'll do our right key first. So if key down, what do we want it to do? It said sprite.x. And this is player. And we want it to move right. So if I move to the right, my x gets smaller. So I know I need to do subtraction. Okay. And I want to subtract from my player x. I'm going to subtract, let's do 3. Then I'm going to copy this, Control C, and below, come on. We're up there, I don't want to be there, I want to be down here. All right, it's not working. We're just going to do another control. Key down, this time left. I'm going to do sprite.x, math. This time, instead of subtracting, I want to go the other way. Uh-oh, I got these backwards. If I'm moving to the right, I'm adding. But we're going to do the opposite, and then I'll fix this. Another sprite.x, and we'll do 3. Here we go. Player. This needs to be right. This needs to be left. Run. And he falls so quick, I don't know if I can try. No, he's falling too quick. So that's all right. Then it says we need to do, excuse me, an if statement, key down with velocity. So we're going to go do that. If statement, we're going to do key down, which is in world. This is the up key, so we're going to do the up key. We want velocity y, and we want addition. So if we go up, we want it to subtract from the y. So I put subtraction, go back to sprite and grab a velocity y, and we're going to do -3. So remember, player, and we need to call this function. So player control, we go up into our draw function, which is right here. I know that because it says draw. Go to functions, I got to drag it out and call it. And it was called player control. So reset and run. All right, we're going to try. Oh, there he went. Reset, run. Okay, there he goes. Yes, so he can come up. Oops. I can go up. I can go left. And I can go right. I'm going to change my speed, though. That's a little too quick. So I think I want a 1 on my velocity. Nope, not 1's not enough. Okay, so 2 is a lot better. A little bit more control. So good. Nice. That one's working now. On to 15. So here we go. Player interaction. Okay, create a player lands function. And inside the function, use the collide block so that the player can land on the platform. All right, easy enough. Player lands. So function, very bottom, put that out there. Player lands. Good. And then it wants, so I know it's a displace because they're supposed to push my player out of the way or I can land on them. So let's find displace. Bounce off, collide, displace. Okay, so we want, now this one we got to be careful because we want the platform to displace the player. If I did this the other way, then my player would displace the platforms and I couldn't land on them. They would just fall to the ground with my player. And platform 2 and player. Let's try it. Oh, guess what? I can't try it yet. I got to go call it up in my draw loop. Make sure we're in our draw loop. Call our function. And now we can try it. Oh, let's see if I can land on them. All right, let's restart. Okay, so there, they are pushing me. Oh, I got around them. I fall. So I need to make a little bit of change in my game so that between these, but you can see I can sit on it now. That's what we needed. All right, so level 16. Let's see what it says. Collect items. We got to do a collect item function and then use the if statement is touching block to change X and Y position if we touch the item. Look at the loop function for clues of how to reset the items. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to minimize this. We're going to go to the bottom, create a new function, put it here, collect items. There we go. Inside of there, we need an if statement. We need an is touching. There it is. Whoa. Put that out there. We want if player touching star. We want to collect it. So here we go. If players, we want to go to variable because we're going to change our score. So we need to do this x equals. So we need score equals score plus 1. There, it'll fill in the blocks for me. So we want to be sure it's the lowercase score, okay? And that way, we haven't called it, so it's not going to count up yet. But if we go up, this needs to be at 0. Collect items. We need to call this function in our draw loop. There it is. Call it. Set run. So if I collect it, you can see that it starts to collect it, but it doesn't make the star move. So we got to fix that. Here we go.